snow. Tons of it. Not really. For Northern Californians or other people who have been in the snow, raised in the snow, lived in the snow, there's not really a lot of snow here in Texas. But I can tell you that it's absolutely freaking cold as heck. And I think it got to 0 this morning, maybe even below 0, and we have another snowstorm coming in. I have been without power for the most part for the last 2 days. And yeah, it kind of makes me wonder, why are they picking on, we hear about these rolling power outages. Rolling power outages for who? It's not really rolling power outages. For any of you that are watching the news that says that, and you hear, oh, there's rolling power outages for North Texans and everything. And for all of you locals out there who think that you're going to be hit by the rolling power outages, well, here's the thing. If you've had power, you're probably going to keep your power. If you haven't had power and you've been in that lucky lottery of not having power, guess what? You get to join with me and not have power. Yeah. I have probably had a total of maybe, I'm going to say, and this is really, really, saying that this is a lot, okay? I'm being very easygoing on it. I'm going to say that I've maybe had a total of 5 hours worth of power in the last 2 days. Maybe 6 hours. I don't know. So, yeah. So, there you have it. Rolling power outages for a certain 4.5 million people in Texas. That's what we have. And anybody who's had those power outages can probably agree with me on that we get it. And you run and you take your shower and you turn on your coffee and you turn on your dishwasher and you pray to God that your dishwasher has time to actually wash the dishes. You pray to God that you have time to make it through the shower. You pray to God that your house will actually warm a little bit and get past, 7 degrees in the house and get up to I don't know, maybe 25. That would be nice, right? But that's not what today's topic is about. That's just North Texas weather. Who knows? I don't know what Austin's doing or what San Antonio or Houston's doing, but I know what this neck of the woods is doing. And we're under a deep freeze. But it's been fun too. I love the snow. I love the cold weather. It's snuggle weather. It's lovely weather for just kind of, I don't know, there's a lot of bonding that happens in moments like this. And I'm grateful for those moments. But yeah, the rolling power outages, not a thing. So don't believe the news, guys. Okay? It's just a few people. And I'm a lucky lottery winner. So I'm one of those people. But today's topic, it's funny how topics kind of come up. I was kind of thinking how am I going to even lead in on this? And there's just been some conversation that's happened in my house. And as I was walking out the door with my tea that's probably already cold, I was thinking to myself, this is actually one of those topics as to why I've thought about quitting what I do in recent weeks, in recent years. I have these moments in my life where I go, F it, I'm done, I quit, I'm absolutely fucking done. All right, there, I ruined it. I said the F word. All right, well, fuck it now. So, and I've had these moments where I've just gone, I don't even want to continue being a coach. I don't even want to continue to stand out on social media. I don't want to write my articles. I don't want to do workshops. I don't want to do seminars. I don't want to do talks. I don't want to show up on live streams. Fuck it all. Fuck it all. And it's because of all the supposedly respectable gentlemen out there in the world. They make me want to God, just, it's just fucking ridiculous. And it's because I think that they're such respectable gentlemen. And I know that I'm speaking for every woman, no matter what our looks are, no matter our age, no matter our education, no matter, anything. It does not matter. If we are a woman in today's time, and it has been this way forever, okay? It's been this way. It's just that it's so much more in our face as women, because we get bombarded not just from the respectable gentlemen of our communities, but we get bombarded by the respectable gentlemen of the world. Now, I'm being very sarcastic here, in the word respectable, but it is. We get bombarded by these supposed respectable gentlemen of the world that are obsessive, psychotic lunatics out there that actually believe that their attitudes, their comments to us, their everything is something that we desire, need, long for, or that we, and here's the real catch, that we owe them something. So yesterday, during our little crisis of no energy in my house, I was having a conversation with my partner and my 15-year-old son, and we were talking about just this topic. And, I receive comments all the time. I receive pictures all the time. I receive all this different stuff from these supposed respectable gentlemen of our world community who think that I should just drop everything and this is it. They are my soulmate. They are the one true man for me. They have this stream of consciousness with me. They have, all this kind of stuff. They can feel my heart from a million miles away. They get me at a level that nobody else does. And they cannot, for the sake of anything, actually hear me. They don't see me. They don't know me. They don't hear me. And because I always think to myself when somebody says, I just know what you're thinking. I know what you're feeling. And when somebody says this to me, I always go, if you actually fucking knew what I was thinking right now, you'd probably want to run the other way, because you would be thinking, wow, that was the bitchiest statement that I've ever heard. Or, wow, she's so not into me. Or, wow, or wow, or wow. Because it's all this stuff that I'm just like, oh my God, so not into you. Well, yesterday we were having this conversation, and what is his name? I've been practicing this name all day long in between power surges. And it's just power outages, I guess. Not power surges, power outages, power whatever the fuck we got going on. But what is his name? Elliot. Elliot Rogers. So Elliot Rogers. And some of you might remember Elliot Rogers' story from, I think it was 2014, 2015. And he was the young man that basically plowed down one of the a college sorority house, and he drove over 7-8 girls. He shot 7-8 girls. He stabbed a whole bunch of them, and it was because he was known as the virgin killer. And I at first thought that he was running around killing virgins. My bad. I was set straight by my son that he was the virgin, and he was killing women that had said no to him, that said, no, I'm not interested in you. And I actually was looking at him I don't know, this guy, he just needed to get right with himself. At the end of the day, it's a sad person that goes through this, and it's a person that is just not understanding themselves, not loving themselves, right? And we know that. But the point is not the person that's not loving themselves. It's the point that when we come down to it, a lot of us women, we tend to fall into relationships with these guys in some fashion or form. And this can be flipped, okay? I want to say this up front. This is not an anti-guy vlog, okay? It's not anti-guy. I love men, love the good, the bad, everything about men. But I can tell you, women, we are guilty of doing a lot of this shit to guys too, okay? So I'm not going to just give us off the hook here for us ladies. But since I'm a woman and I deal with men on this level, not with the ladies, I'm going to just put it out there as this. So guys, just understand that everything that I say can be directed toward women as well. Okay? So these guys out there, they run around and this Elliot Rogers guy, and that I somehow missed it back in 2014. That just happens to be my style of not paying attention to the news. It's really not that big of news. Yes, I'm sorry that he killed those people, but I'm not the news watcher. But this man, young man, very lost man, who thought that he was an alpha man, who thought that he was all that, God's given gift to women, basically. And obviously very, very troubled in his thoughts. He used the term respectable gentleman, which is where the title comes from here. Respectable gentleman. And I have heard this term laid on me in multiple ways from different men throughout the course of time and in different ways, right? And it is this whole concept that a guy believes that because he is portraying a certain way, I am a respectable gentleman. I am nice. I am, going to basically cater to you. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I am so, I don't know, all the supposed, facade of having morals, facade of having respect, of love, of what they believe it is and what it is not. Wow, the cops are definitely out. I just watched 2 cop cars go by. And I'm in a nice neighborhood and there's nothing going on. So what the heck's going on with all the cop cars? So we don't know. The way that officer, whatever his name is, right? But these guys out there that are supposedly respectable and trying to portray their love to women, and they're doing it how? They're doing it why? And what is their true belief, their true understanding of women? And that's what I'm coming to, is that there's a lot that goes on when we receive as women these different messages, text messages, social media messages, pictures, calls in our fucking face, in person things. And I have had my boundaries crossed so many times by men that did not understand that they were being the furthest thing from loving, the furthest thing from respectful. And I've been told that, oh no, that is because of you. That's your viewpoint. That's your shit. That's yours. And it is. And as Addison just said, it's traumatizing to the feminine. It is absolutely traumatizing to the feminine when these things are done. It is traumatizing to us because it is a cross of our boundaries. It is not respect to force our will, as men or women, on another person and make another person do something that they don't want to do. Right down to the fact that when we are telling them that we're doing this because we love them, okay? Now, many of you might know that I just recently went through a breakup, and my ex has kind of depicted a little bit of this lack of respectable gentleman shit, all out of the sake of love, right? He's done it all out of the sake of love. He loves me so much that he's willing to go crazy, willing to, do these different things that are so far from loving that I can't fathom it. There's no logic behind it as to how anybody months and months and months later can even keep going into this supposed heartbreak that wants to cause trauma and disaster to another human being. But we do that consistently in different ways, and we do it through our little messages. Now, you'd bring it down a notch. Maybe it's not our partner. Maybe it's not our ex-husband, ex-boyfriend, current husband, current boyfriend, whatever you might say. Maybe it is just somebody, some random bloke on Facebook who messages us and says, hey babe, you're cute, you're hot, you're so pretty, I love what you have to say, I love your pictures, that was gorgeous photography, what's some of the other stuff, you're so sexy, show me your titties, show me this, show me that, I want your sex, I want to have sex with you, come fuck me, do this, do that, all that. And then, within 5 minutes they go through like these statements, and then they go, where are you, what's wrong, did I make you mad, what's wrong, you're such a bitch, blah 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 blah, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. And then they're like, oh, I'm gonna fucking report you. That happens. Meanwhile, we've done nothing. Us ladies over here on the other side, it's just sitting there. And I know that you guys get this too. But that happens where we'll get these messages. And it's just like that. And it's within like 5 minutes, okay? It's absolutely crazy. Now, granted, there's probably a couple dick pics in there. There's probably a couple, other statements, requests, all this different stuff that's going on. But it is really, truly, number one, a disgrace to the masculine. There is absolutely nothing respectful about it. There is nothing loving about it. There is nothing conscious about it. And if you think that any woman wants to hear it, it's not there. Like, no woman wants that. No woman absolutely wants that at all. And here's the thing, it's a disgrace to the masculine, because for all the good guys out there, because there's a shit ton of good guys, right? There's some beautiful, absolutely beautiful, conscious, loving, honoring masculine. And it makes it really hard for us women to actually connect with those masculine, because our armor is up so hardcore because of all the demoralizing masculine that's out there. Okay? I know recently I had a question posed to me of like, how can a woman, tell the difference. And I believe on one of the posts I wrote my article about betweeners, and I was talking about past relationships and gratitude for the between relationships, and how I recognize that those between relationships are all about growth and expansion, right? And sometimes the majority of the time, those between relationships have a lot of negative stuff in them. But then there's the beauty too that comes in from those between relationships. And I remember that somebody had posed the question of, well, what about the ender, right? What about the ender relationships? How do you tell the difference between a between relationship and an end relationship? And then, how's a woman supposed to tell if a guy is really there, really conscious, like in that real connected conscious state, that heart state, or one of these supposed, like, what I'm talking about, right? He's such a respectable gentleman, but they're just running around and it's all fake. It's all just a facade. Well, my answer to the questions like that is that, number one, it's a two-way street, right? And as I was telling my partner today, we were driving back and we found coffee. We found one Starbucks that was open. That was so awesome. But as I was telling him, I said, it just gets me as to how so many people actually believe that just because they feel one way, that the person that they are putting their feelings toward feels the same way. And in a relationship, any relationship, whether that is a friendship or a romantic relationship, it does not matter. It is a two-way street. If that person is telling you, has shown, any lack of interest, has stated it in some way, like, no, I'm just not that into you. And isn't there a show or a movie that said, like, she's just not that into you, or he's just not into you, right? Well, there's the thing. If somebody is not that into us, then we're going to know it, right? They're going to not give us the time of day, you could say, in different ways. Well, that's your sign. That is your fucking sign. That's a sign. If I haven't given you the time of day, if I'm not making you a priority, because that's what relationship is that there's priority that goes toward our relationship, especially a romantic partner. That is our priority relationship. That is the relationship that we are intimate. That is the relationship that we have chosen to share our lives with, our little intricacies with, the deep vulnerability with. We are surrendering in that relationship in multiple ways, like all ways, right? So since we are surrendering in that relationship in all ways, we're making it a priority. Well, if just speaking here, if I've not made you a priority in a romantic relationship, I'm not having a romantic relationship with you, I've not shown any interest in that romantic relationship, I've not said, hey, then what makes you think that's a two-way street, right? Because it's not a two-way street. But then we have people like this Elliot Rogers, and many other obsessive cases out there like that are at all different levels. Now, he was extreme, right? And he had a true hatred for women, believing that women owed him something. Owed him their sex, owed him connection, owed him intimacy, just because he referred to himself as an alpha man, just because he thought that he was this respectable gentleman and all other guys were whatever, and that he was God's given gift. Well, in that, anybody who thinks that they are something and they're not receiving it back, you have to kind of question yourself in this. Am I really wanting a relationship with this person? Or am I obsessing and thinking that they owe me something? Am I actually being completely disrespectful to that person by just not hearing them, by not seeing them? How does love come into play with that? If I love somebody, don't I want to actually hear their truth? If I love somebody, don't I actually want to see them? Don't I actually want to pay attention to what their wants, their desires, their, get this, boundaries are? Because that's what love is. Love listens. Love hears. Love allows for boundaries on all sides. Love is about that deep connection, and sometimes it doesn't make us the most happy in certain situations. That's where compromise comes in, right? And if we really love somebody, but it's not coming back in the same essence that we want to give it, then we have to own the fact of, well, maybe, just maybe, this isn't my soulmate. Maybe this isn't my deep connection. Maybe this isn't the one. And you've been hearing me talk a lot about the one, about soulmates and everything. That's because I'm in a fucking phenomenal relationship, that I have this beautiful connection. I have this beautiful love. I'm experiencing so much joy, so much of just everything, that surrender. And that, guess what? That's what I'm going to write about. That's what I'm going to talk about, is that connection, is about that, it's about that soulmate. And it's funny that in the midst of this, I'm also being faced with a whole bunch of people that are suddenly going, I have that river of consciousness with you. I have this, I have that. And I'm like, no, because if you actually heard what I was thinking, it would be like, get the fuck away from me. So like, that is, it's silly, right? But we all deal with this. And I'm sure that everybody out there can say, oh, I remember a time, or I've had this happen, where somebody was so fixated, so focused on what they wanted for me to feel, for me to believe, for me to, want, that they couldn't hear me. They couldn't see me. They completely sidestepped me. And in that, what did that do? It probably made you not want to be around that person. It probably made you feel a little edgy, a little nervous. Your, what would be referred to as emotional armor popped up, right? Because that's what happens. We armor up against situations that cannot hear, cannot see, cannot feel, cannot respect us, our boundaries, and where we're at in any aspect of life. And that's really truly the point here, is that, yeah, I'm a respectable gentleman, or am I something else? Am I something that's just not giving a shit about what you're saying, what you're doing, what you're expressing? And ladies, we're guilty of this too, because there's plenty of crazy women out there that just kind of run all over guys. And, it's the excessive texting, it's the excessive neediness. And yeah, guys, you do that too. Excessive texting, excessive neediness. There's, jealousy that comes into play that might come out in other ways. We tend to, in these moments when we get into that behavior, we point fingers out at everybody else, and we try to make it as though that person's doing this, that person's doing that. But look at me. Look at me. I'm perfect. Look at me. I'm supportive. Look at me, what I can do for you. Look. And what that is that's that puppy dog. That's that I need you to need me, because I am obsessed with the idea of you, of us, of this, of that. And I'm completely going to disregard how you feel about the situation or about me. I'm just not going to pay attention to it. And you know what? You owe it to me, because this is the way I feel, and I'm God's gift to you, to anybody, and that's just the way it is. And you owe me. The world owes me. The world owes me. And here's the thing. Those kinds of attitudes, they're dangerous. They're really, really dangerous. And I guess my point of bringing this up, because it is in kind of excess, not only in conversation in my world and in things that I'm seeing, and the more clear I get about just my life and direction and everything, it's definitely popping up. But you know what? I've got all those people in my world that I work with, that I talk to, and then I hear all these things. And I was talking with some police officers actually a few weeks ago, and they were telling me about how there is just this excess of people doing stuff like this. An officer said, I don't know what it is, but everybody's putting trackers on everybody these days. Like, there's just trackers on everybody. There's this massive amount of people tracking their partners. What is that? Why would we track our partners? Why? Why is there such distrust? Why is it acceptable to cross boundaries at that level? How is that love? How is that respect? Yet it's happening, and it's happening in mass right now. Is it COVID? Is it economy? What is it? What is it? Or has it just always been there, and because of certain situational, environmental things that are taking place, our crazy as a society is kind of rising up? I'm going to go with that. I'm definitely going to go with that. And to the point of, how do we, men or women, figure out who's real and who's not? Well, I'm always going to lean back on my heart on this one. And it's always going to come back to you. Follow your heart, because you don't know what's real. You don't know what's fake. You don't know who has a mask. But if you can love yourself, and you can be centered in your core and not need somebody else, but that other person is more like a cherry on top of your sundae, it's just that extra added bonus to your life. You don't need them, but you want them. That's the difference. And if you're wanting it and not needing it, and you're following your heart, then I don't believe that you can really go wrong. And at the end of the day, any of us can lose it. So don't think that anybody's safe from it, because we can all lose it. When pushed to the end, when everything crashes, when we really get pushed as a human being, any person can fall astray to all that crazy. Okay? So we can't really truly say, that would never happen to me. I would never do that. That's a mask. No, we can be tried and true all the way through, and then push to our max where we break. That's what breaking is, right? And that can happen to any person on the planet. None of us can escape that. But at the end of it, what you got to look at is, did my heart lead me to this person? Am I solid in who I am? Am I solid in what I want? Do I know myself? Do I love myself? Do I respect myself? And from that space, draw in the person that serves your soul, the person that honors you, and you honor them, because it's always, always a two-way street. Okay, on that note, let me see what these comments are. Let me see. Miss Addison, controlled outages. They're picking and choosing. Yeah, they're picking and choosing. All right, they're just picking certain spots, and they're not picking other spots. Traumatizing the feminine. Got that. You knowing the problem is said to be half the battle. 1. Yet winning the conflict is yet to be added to complete the affair. The other half is by definition ignorance or the lack of the true facts. I don't know the rest of it. If I click on it, I'm sorry. I will kind of mess everything up here. Leon, now I have experienced some of what women go through since transitioning. And then there's my ninja. Thank you for posting everything. So, yes, there you have it. Respectable gentlemen, respectable women. It's all within question. Can you respect yourself enough to respect another? Which means, do you love yourself, not based in ego, but in soul connection, in alignment to who you really are? That's really, truly what it comes down to. And just a realization that we're a hell of a lot more likely to pulling crazy when we are in weak spots in our life, and that the strongest of us can fall to become the weakest when certain situations come into play. So that's where grace comes in for humanity. That's where compassion can come in to, our fellow neighbor, and to love thy neighbor as thyself, and have that understanding, but at the same time have our boundaries. On that note, I'm going to let you guys go. Announcements. I am running the Manifest Your Man, which will be an updated version, revised version of my top 10 hacks for manifesting your soulmate into your life. That will be happening this next weekend. For all you ladies out there, it is a phenomenal course. And you're going to receive 5+ recorded bonus hours plus 2 hours of one-on-one training with me on how to manifest in the man that you really truly want, and learn the secrets of drawing that dynamic conscious lover into your life. Plus, you'll get 2 weeks of one-on-one mentoring with me in the Facebook group. And then, of course, guess what? If you want anything else, well, there is one-on-one coaching, there's group coaching, there's events, even in the bitter freaking cold. I don't know what kind of events. I guess we could do snow mikvahs. I keep teasing about that. Not really. Not going to do snow mikvahs. Not today. Not with everybody. Sorry. It's too cold for that. If none of you know what a mikvah is, that's like rolling in or jumping in ice. And I can't remember how many times you do it. It's been a few years since I did it, but it's like really, really freaking cold. Anyways, it cleanses your energy. It cleans your soul, all this kind of stuff. Anyways, look it up. Snow mikvah or ice mikvah, whatever it's called. Anyways, reach out to me if you are interested, not in snow mikvahs, but in having that fuckiest life today. And I will catch you tomorrow with another Conscious Coffee. Love you guys.